Was it everything you dreamed of it being? The weekend, the matches, the way it felt? Did it live up to the dream?
I think it's a rare time where my imagination is not good enough to come up with what actually took place. It far superseded the dream I had. And I had when I was younger and wanted to be, WWE champ, world champ, all those things. When you're just, play wrestler in your underwear at the house, I did genuinely have this fantasy booking of involving different legends, but I'd always envisioned it as maybe if it was after the bell or something of that nature. I won't go into the full fantasy booking of it, but what ultimately would take place at WrestleMania 40 was like that on, steroids. It was like that on another level in terms of the individuals that all came together. Obviously, WrestleMania is a huge team effort, and that was really just to me a wonderful moment. It's the peak of my career as of now, no doubt, and often am asked, or have you come down, right? Have you come down from the clouds? Have you come down from the high? And I like to think I'm pretty self-aware. I'm a pretty know when I'm up there in my own world, and I can't really tell because it just started moving immediately. I mean, the next morning you're doing Good Morning America, and you're in the ring and you're swapping titles with The Rock in moments. It just keeps going, and I think that's probably for the best because I don't have time to necessarily smell the roses with this full international PLE schedule that's been delivered to us. These are so important to this renaissance, to this new era, is that these shows really show the global footprint of WWE. I mean, we're talking about Backlash in Lyon, Bash in Berlin, going to Scotland for Clash at the Castle. That we really just we want to put our fingerprint down as a team, and I'm excited to be one of the leaders on the team.
Could it have gone any better? Mania weekend?
No, not a chance. Not a chance. It couldn't have gone any better. I'm glad I did not overthink in terms of maybe how I would feel or anything of that nature. And then, of course, I don't know if you heard about this, but I had a fairly humbling moment a few nights before WrestleMania. My bus set on fire outside of, Lincoln Financial, outside the Link. And that, if anything, knowing that all your things might go up in flames, minus the pair of boots that I took off as I was standing out in the rain watching this thing burn. Thankfully, that fire department handled it and put it out, and I have nothing but love for the Philadelphia Fire Department, looking to do something for them in the future. That was a very humbling moment.
I haven't gotten to ask you yet about working with Dwayne. The Rock is obviously such an iconic figure for all of us. He was so damn good during this run. He truthfully, it exceeded anything I ever dreamed that The Rock would come back to do. What was it like working with him? And how would you describe your relationship with him prior to this run? Like, how well did you know the guy prior to January or whatever it was this year?
I feel like we knew each other really in a limited capacity prior to his return. I know probably the only significant moment that ever happened with he and I, we did some dark match stuff back in the day, but WrestleMania in Miami, I had gone into his locker room to thank him for the house. And that was something that I think he remembered, whereas for me, it was just the right thing to do. And we had that previous moment. But other than that, I don't think Rock respectfully was very familiar with me. And I wouldn't blame him if he wasn't, because of the nature of his life, the schedule that he keeps, the workload that he has. I mean, him, John Cena, these guys are models for you. You want the world, you have to do the work. And I really enjoyed, I've said this before, I enjoyed him figuring out who I was in real time as moments were happening. For example, coming down the steps with Seth Rollins, with him and Roman in the ring, I think it's the first time he had ever heard the crowd do the whoa. I think he really took to what was going on, and it's a shame that obviously he and I are at odds. It's a shame that we don't like each other, but I would hope we left the weekend with a sense of respect for one another. And just an aside, as far as we're looking at WrestleMania 40, biggest thing that I have done up to this point, and a really significant night for pro wrestling and sports entertainment. But I can't forget that on Saturday, this guy beat me 1, 2, 3, clean as a sheet in the center of the ring. And Peter, I don't often appear this way, but I'm fairly petty when it comes to wanting my win back. And
we're gonna get to that later too. I have something about that later.
Yeah, so a lot of respect, and I would hope. Who knows? Who knows? Clearly, if he hated me, I would fully understand. I derailed one plan, created another plan, but the final boss is certainly a welcome addition to WWE. That you mentioned the run. It's incredibly special. There's a reason he's a Mount Rushmore pro wrestler. And if you've ever gotten truly over, and I hate that word, but if you've ever gotten truly over, you have the ability to do it again. Nobody like The Rock.